Get a minute of your time. Get a minute of your. Hush, you gotta live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my side. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. Part of the creation, the relations I've got, the only one that keeps me safe, the only one you should trust. For sure, it ain't right that I have checked the speck of dust from all of its side. Fall down, that from my height, cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye.
I legit just had a moment.
This is so sad. Like this is our 38th episode. Our 38th episode, and you still can't remember the name of the podcast.
I know. In all honesty, though, I've been away for 2 weeks.
I swear it's been longer.
Maybe it's been 3. No. Because we did do the podcast on the Monday, right? Or like 2 weeks ago. And then I went away the following Monday. And then I was to come back and do the podcast the following Monday. But I had a massive infection, like a sinus infection. That's why I didn't come.
No. You know why it's been 3 weeks?
Why?
Because there was 1 week where we were supposed to do it. This is why. There was 1 week we were supposed to do it, and then I got booked in the morning.
Oh, you're right.
So that day we were supposed to do a double booking, a double recording.
Yeah.
And then the following week you went away.
Yeah.
And then when you came back, then you were sick.
Yeah. So
it's been 3 weeks.
So you have to don't mind my hiccups and my. I was like, as soon as 30 seconds into the podcast, I'm posting on my Instagram because I wanted to share the link to our podcast, and I'm like, wait, what's the name of our podcast? Anyway, welcome everybody.
So sad.
We're so excited to be here. I'm excited to be back. I don't know about you.
I'm excited. I'm pumped up. It's been been way too long, dude.
I know, it's been forever. And then when you don't do something forever, I feel like you end up missing it. But then you also end up getting lazy, where you're like,
oh yeah,
you're like, oh man, like I gotta go and do it, right?
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh my gosh, I'm excited. I'm excited to do it. Don't get me wrong.
Did you just say what I think you just said?
No, I'm just kidding.
Did you just legit? So this morning, hang on 1 second. So she messages me this morning.
Did we say welcome? Welcome everybody. We love you.
Hang on, don't change the subject here.
Today's gonna be a very exciting day to be working together.
So she messages me this morning at 7:50.
Was it 7? Oh, I thought it was earlier than that.
No, it was 7:50. She goes, "Hey, just checking about today. ... I'm good to go if you are. Let me know." Ugh.
I didn't put. No, listen. It's because, truth be told, like we've been going through sickness left, right, and center.
I know.
And my daughter's homesick right now.
Oh,
so that's why. Yeah, Raquel is sick. So I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So that's why when I texted you that, I was like, okay, well, I didn't know if you had a booking. Like I didn't know. We haven't spoken in 2 weeks.
So if I would have said no, I'm not good, you would be like, okay.
No, I would not have said
You're
that.
a liar. You're such a liar.
I would have legit been like, okay, let's do a follow up just to make sure that we get something recorded and like that we get our podcast recorded and then we put it out.
Okay.
Because I do love being here.
It didn't sound like it. If we go back to what you said earlier, it's like, oh, I have to do this today.
No. I was just saying because I got lazy. And then my daughter is sick. And then I was like, okay, if it doesn't work out today, my daughter's sick. I have literally no groceries, Miguel. Like my kids are airtarians. They're living by air. True story. A friend of mine had a friend who's deep into these like.
Airtarian, is that a thing?
It is a thing.
You're lying right now.
No, I'm not. 100%. As Jason Palmer.
Let me ask Google.
Okay, go ahead.
Airtarian?
Airtarian.
So
have you guys heard of Airtarian? If you have, please let us know.
How do you even spell it?
Air and then Atarian.
Don't think you're better than me. Hang on 1 second. Airtarian. Eric Therian.
Hold on. Okay, so a friend of mine had like my friend's husband who was working with another guy who's deep into these like kind of interesting theories.
Yeah.
Went through a period of time where he just said that, according to somebody who he saw on YouTube, that literally all you need to live is air, and that he hadn't eaten in X amount of days and he felt great.
Okay, so I'm looking it up right now. This is sad. So it says those who only consume air. First of all, you can't consume air.
100%. 100% you can't.
Consume air? That's called bloating. You're gonna be.
But you can't survive off air. There's no nutrition. Like, obviously, it's needed because
Right.
you need to survive.
Oh, so you agree with me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were disagreeing. You're like, yes, you can. Okay. So
My
those.
kids are living proof. Air and water. That's all we do. And sunlight.
Yeah,
plants.
those who only consume air and water in the efforts to stop the slaughter of innocent plants and animals. Innocent plants.
Yeah, it is a thing. I didn't know about it until a friend of mine told me that her husband's colleague was bigging it up and was like all about Aeritarian, and how this guy who was like 96 was all for it, and his whole life he had been Aeritarian. And I'm like, in my mind, my background is nursing, right? So in my mind, I'm like, I legit don't understand how that could work. But yeah, it is a thing.
Hey guys, you want to be Aeritarians with me?
Does not promote that. Please don't be an Aeritarian. I have such a hard time when I hear people talk about crash diets or like things that are so extreme that I'm like, oh my gosh, you are messing up your body.
So here's breatharian.
Breatharian?
Yeah, breatharian.
So you just, is that what it is?
People who think air is food.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a thing. I'm like, it's crazy, right?
They call themselves breatharian, a newish kind of spiritual that believes that humans' bodies can and should sustain itself not on food but on air, and universal energy.
Yeah.
These are people that are really not eating.
It can't be something that somebody's on long term, I think. Like, I'm sure this guy who was a Aeritarian, I'm sure he's eating by now, because there's no way your body, like literally 2 weeks and you die without food. Your body shuts down.
Yeah, like I'm legit.
If you're an Aeritarian, please let us know. We would love to interview you.
Listen, I don't want to offend anybody. Obviously, like we're not here to offend anybody. I'm having a hard time understanding the thought process behind this.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I have a hard time understanding the thought process nowadays.
This is, but it's food. I understand vegetarians. I understand like vegans. I do. I get it.
Of course.
But you're still eating to sustain
life.
Your own life, right? But like in the slaughter of innocent plants, I don't understand. Anyways, if you are a Aeritarian or breatharian, I'm not gonna make fun of you, but I do want to interview. Yes, I will.
We just want to understand. We're not about judgment. In my mind, I don't think it's something that's sustainable.
Right.
But I would love to just meet someone who can just shed some light on their thought process with being an Aeritarian.
Right. We just have questions.
We just have questions. That's all.
We just have questions.
I mean, my kids are Aeritarians in between grocery shopping trips. I'm just kidding. I feed my kids. Please don't call CAS on me.
Oh my gosh. No. Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's awesome. Well, yeah, that's amazing. Okay, yeah. So, and we believe like we fast.
Yes.
Right, but that's only for like a period of 24 hours. And I know like the Muslim community, they fast as well.
They do a period of, I believe it's 40 days.
Yeah, 40 days.
But you do eat. So you only are fasting during the times that the sun is up.
Right.
And then like sun is down, then you can eat.
Right. So I do, and again, I understand those and the period of, but yeah, going your whole life without eating food,
Yeah, I think it's unsustainable, but we shall see. Who am I to say? I don't know. I don't know all things. So just from my understanding, I believe it's unsustainable.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Well, welcome back. Yes, we are back, and we're excited to be back. Yes. You went away. Where'd you go?
I went on a cruise. I went to the Bahamas. Miguel.
I swear to you, this is. Oh my gosh. This is news to me. I had no idea. I know you went away.
So this is the thing that you have to know about Miguel. You can tell Miguel things and he'll look at you like he's listening, but legit, he's not listening.
I am listening.
No, he did.
Did I respond back? Did I say?
Yes, you did.
What did I say?
Oh, cool. That's all you said.
Then I wasn't listening.
Well, how am I? You were looking at me. I knew, like, at that point. But I mean, like, I don't get upset because I'm like, I'm not your wife. I'm like, you're not my husband. So I'm just kind of like, whatever.
No, but like, I mean, if we're having a conversation, like,
wait, you want me to get upset? Like,
no, don't
like,
get upset.
You're not listening to me. Focus.
When did you tell me that you were going?
I told you multiple times. So when we had this conversation about me being away, and we were like coming up with the schedule of how we were gonna just make sure that we continue to post, I was like, hey, I'm going away on vacation. I'm going on a cruise. So you're like, okay, cool. And then like we would just go back to like.
Because you know why, and this is the thing is, I know
you don't listen.
No,
I know
it's not that I don't listen.
100%.
It's not.
Unless it's something where you like see me visibly like upset or annoyed, maybe. Then at that point you listen. But if it's just like normal conversation, and I'm just kind of like just talking, it's like
okay. So in my defense, hang on one second.
Now you know a little bit about Miguel.
No, hang on one second. Because normally when people tell me, yeah, I'm going on vacation, I'm doing whatever X, I always say, bring me back a T-shirt.
Yeah. So you full out were not listening then.
Yeah.
Because I told you like multiple times.
So here's what I thought you went. I thought you went to go visit your mom.
No. So we did, we booked a cruise when my dad was still here. And I think we didn't talk about this story. So when my dad was still here and because the year had been so hard.
I'm paying attention. So now I need to validate that I'm listening. This is how, like, okay. So I'm listening.
It's okay because I'm like half the time I'm talking to our listeners.
No,
right?
you're talking to me and they're watching. So you're talking to me. I'm listening. Okay, so go.
So anyway,
you know what? Hang on. Did you ever mention it on the podcast that you were going on a cruise?
I don't think I did. The podcast I didn't. We never said that I was going away on the podcast. It was when we were working on like what our end of the year is gonna look like, and I was like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna be away X amount of like.
Did
days.
you tell Tegan?
I think I did. Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna be my saving grace. Because if Tegan didn't know, then you never told me.
You know what? I am pretty sure I have a text from telling her.
From what?
Tegan.
Because when you guys came over, we were planning on the Buns and the Martinez we're gonna invest.
Yes, together.
We're thinking about investing together.
Yeah.
So you guys came over.
Oh no, we didn't speak about it that day because we were talking about our futures together.
That sounded so.
I'm like,
why'd you say it like that?
I know.
Why did you say it
I
like
do
that?
have to say, I'm like, and this is the thing about, this is what I'm going to say. I don't even, this is on my part, right? But I'm always, before I was kind of weary about like how Mike would perceive our relationship, right? Our like friendship, right? Yeah. And I was like, are you ever worried? He's like, psh, he's like the male version of you. Why would I be worried?
It's funny that you said that. Oh, sorry, you're going to go ahead?
No, go ahead. What were you saying? Yeah.
My worry was not about Tegan, but about others.
Oh, I know. And I do have to, that's why sometimes when we are in, like, public settings, mm-hmm. I'm not, like, I feel like I don't know. I think maybe it's different. Like, when we go to youth events together and we'll, like, talk and stuff like that.
Yeah, now I don't feel like that. In the beginning. When we first started, when we combined forces.
When we combine brains.
Yeah, remember Captain America? Oh, not Captain America, Captain Planet?
No.
When the rings combine.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, when our energies combined, in the beginning, I was like, crap. Like I'm worried about what others and me being in a leadership position. I don't want people like.
I know, and that was my worry too, right? Yeah. I totally get it, especially at church, right? Because we're like siblings.
Yeah.
This guy all of a sudden will like give me a wet willy, and I'm sitting at church.
That is true.
I'm like I was like,
I'll go by. She's fully sitting with Mike and whatever, and I'll walk behind her, and I'll just
so disgusting.
Go right in.
I'm like, it's just. I know. That's why I'm like, because we're so similar, I'm like, my worry was mostly always about Mike, because we always had this thing that we're like, we're never going to be kind of like in a position or alone with the opposite sex, right? Because you never want to, there's this thing that you want to protect your marriage, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And then here I am, like, with you, in a dungeon with you. I'm like, in-laws full out are like, hey, Maria, he's downstairs. Have fun.
Yeah, but now, and then once we got going with the podcast, and then the energy started flowing, and then it became like more of a sibling.
We like totally know, and like our significant other know. We like
Oh,
we
yeah.
would have never ever worked like in
Yeah,
any
yeah.
other way.
Yeah.
And we're like, we would be divorced. Like we wouldn't have made it. Like we're like the same person.
You know who I think about? It's do you remember the 99.9 Mad Dog and Billy?
Oh yeah, I do remember.
Yeah. So they had phenomenal chemistry on the radio.
But it was like a sibling style.
It
right?
was. It was very. They played off each other's words. He had a family, I believe. I don't. Anyways, when she would go over, she knew the kids. They called her auntie and all these different things. And so there was a. Yeah, it was just the energy spoke for itself, and it was never weird for them. And so anyway, so that's
We totally digress, but based on me saying what, like we were gonna work. I didn't even know what I said. Something together, planning our futures together.
yeah, planning our futures together.
Not that.
But the way that you said it was like the planning our futures together. And she was like, oh. It's like, why did you say it like that? It's like,
Obviously, I didn't mean it that way. Come on. And
it's
this
just
is when
so
like
weird.
out of all the things, that even how when people ask us if we're together, I'm like, no.
I know.
Like I get shook.
We told you guys. We went to an event. What was it? It was no, but what do you call it? Like a trade show.
Oh yeah, we did. It was like so we were together.
Yeah, so we walk in together, right? And we were carrying like our stuff for the
We're
table.
matching t-shirts.
Yeah, matching t-shirts and everything.
And I'm like, maybe it was a matching t-shirts that made
I don't know what it was, but then my contact, right? My contact, she goes, "Oh, Miguel, you're here. Whatever. Is this your partner?" And this one, without skipping, no.
No, she said wife.
Yeah, wife. Sorry,
Yeah.
wife. My wife. And then she goes, and this one, it's not even
Twitched.
like she twitch. It's like, ew, no. And I'm like, relax. I'm like, relax.
Okay,
Like,
but the funny story, we were with I think we did share it about like Levi asking.
Oh yeah, we did share that.
And then I felt so bad, guys, that I'm like, so I felt bad about saying that he was unattractive. After I was like, oh my gosh, what if I hurt his feelings? I'm like, obviously like the relationship is not that way. And then I was gonna text him, and I was like, I can't just text him. I'm like, this has to, because we have a group chat together with our like significant others, right? So I'm like, let me put it in a group chat. I'm like, I know this is probably the weirdest like message I'll ever send, but I'm like, yes, Miguel, you are attractive. I am so sorry. I just felt awkward about the situation.
So I'm laying there in bed, and I'm like, Maria just text messaged me, and she goes, "Oh yeah, what does she want?" And I'm like, she told me, she said the following. She goes, "Oh, that's so sweet of her." I'm like, it's weird. I'm like,
it
why?
was weird. It was weird. I felt weird sending it, but it was also because I asked Tegan. I was like, well, it would be awkward, Tegan, if I asked you if Mike was attractive. And then Tegan was like, of course, yeah, Mike is an attractive guy. I was like, I totally like threw this guy under the bus. And then after, I just felt stressed about this whole situation. I was like, yeah, I'm like, you are attractive in a sense of a like sibling, right? Like,
I found the text.
okay, so what is it?
So this is the text. Man, I've missed doing this podcast with you. He goes, "Hey guys, weird text message alert. Ha 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 ha."
Can we not share it?
Oh, we're
I
sharing.
was like cringeworthy.
Oh, we're sharing. She goes, haha, it's going to keep being on my mind unless I message you guys about it. Okay, I feel really bad about answering the way I did with Levi's question.
I couldn't even say the word like. Anyway, go ahead.
I just feel weird about the question, like especially because Miguel and I work together, and there's never anything that's come in the sibling. There's not anything more than a sibling relationship. But here, Miguel, yes, you are attractive. But hang on. So to make it not awkward, then she says, the farting and the burping can come down a notch. You really have to work on that. This is such a weird message. I'm sorry, guys. Ha ha ha. But now I feel better. I can move on. Have a beautiful Sunday, guys.
It was on a Sunday too. It disrupted my spirit at church.
This was sent
1:55 a.m.
No,
Just-
yeah, it was 6:18.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was on my mind, and I was like, but I'm like, I needed to make sure that Tegan and Mike were there. I didn't. I
Oh
felt
my
like if I
gosh.
sent it just like a private text, I'm like, that's just a weird text to send.
This is freaking hilarious. Anyways, you're so, and then Tegan eventually she goes, "You're so kind. Even to feel badly about it, your heart was always in the right place. I always have been the same." Anyways,
I love Tegan. She's the best. Anyway, so
anyways,
we totally digressed. What were we
a little
talking
bit.
about?
We're talking about. Well, we haven't even discussed the subject in matters today, but yeah, today we're going to be talking about. No, first of all, we're catching up. I know it's been 2 weeks or so,
Yeah, so
3
you guys
weeks.
kind of know what we did.
So you went on vacation. What did you do there? What,
I was really sick. I
you
was
get
like
sick?
patient zero. yeah, I was really sick.
for what? Like what happened?
Okay, so we went on a cruise, and the cruise, like, I was
Did you tell me this and I didn't? And I didn't
that I was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I texted you that I had a
No,
sinus
I know you were
infection.
sick. I know you were sick, but at the cruise, in the cruise.
Did I message you?
No, were you sick? Like,
Yes.
Did you tell me that you got sick
No.
at the cruise?
No, I didn't tell you that.
Okay.
I just told you the Monday of, because I was loaded up on drugs, hoping to be here on last Monday,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was just not working out, right? So, you guys know, like, if you guys are I feel like all of North America is going through this, where there's like the RSV virus, there's not pneumonia, there's flus, there's COVID. Like, it's very much aware right now. Hospitals are overloaded. Anyway. And kids are sick left, right, and center, like dropping like flies.
Yeah. Well, not dropping dead like flies.
No,
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, hang on.
They're not dropping
Holy-
dead. They're just dropping sick.
Yeah, they're just sick.
I know, honestly,
Yeah.
though, because I'm like, anyway.
Yeah.
So my kids, a week before we left, Joey came home. So that's my third. My 7-year-old, he comes home. He's sick. And I go pick him up from school. He's really sick for like 2 days, and then he's fine. And then after that, my youngest is sick. And I was like, okay, well, Joey was sick for like 24, 48 hours. She'll be fine. Friggin' 5 days later. And this girl is like sleeping with me. She's like coughing in my face. It reminded me what it was like to have a newborn. We were up every hour. Like, it
Wow.
was just a really hard week.
Wow.
And then finally we're like, oh shoot, we're going on a cruise come Monday. I better check it out and just make sure it's not COVID or like anything like that. So we do the COVID test, it's negative. We book an appointment for her. Our doctor's like, it's just viral. She's fine. Like, everything is calming down, but does give her a spray. So then within all that, so that was a Friday. On Thursday, I start getting sick. And progressively, I kid you not, like, I was so sick on the cruise. I had an insane headache. So I'm like, is this what migraines feel like? Because I don't get migraines, so I have no idea what they feel like, right?
Yeah.
But it felt like my head was in a fishbowl. I thought I had a cavity because I had so much pain here, and it shot up all the way to my face. I had light sensitivity. I was like, I was in a bad shape.
So you didn't even like enjoy the cruise.
Oh, 100% I enjoyed it. I'd rather be sick on the cruise than
okay,
at home.
fair enough.
And so I was like, doesn't matter. I'm like, even traveling there, I had like a hoodie on. I like popped like a whole bunch of pills. I'm like on Neocitrin, like left, right, and center. I had like packs in my pockets. I have like Advil and aspirin. 100%. I was like,
You were walking pharmacy.
listen, I'm like, oh, this is paid for. I am doing this. This is like, I don't care. This is happening and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like, that was my mindset. I'm like, it's happening and I'm enjoying it, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm so grateful for Mike. You know, he's a planner. So he like legit planned everything to like be as easy as it could. All I had to do was show up and like have a backpack on me. Like, that's all I had to do. Anyway, so I'm there. I'm like super sick. I'm still enjoying myself the best I can. Like, during a cruise, they have these moments where the waiters dance and they like encourage the people to come up and dance.
What kind of cruise is this?
It's always, trust me, like cruises always do
I've
that.
been on a cruise. I've never had waiters stand on my table and start
No,
dancing.
they're not dancing on your table, but they like,
Are
they
you
have
throwing
to
money at them?
No, we're not throwing money at them. But anyway, so there was a table like further along that was dancing and the music was good. You know, sometimes there's like, you can't waste good music, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, I had this massive headache, but I was like, I'm doing this. I'm trying to get my kids to like join me. My kids are like, I'm like, legit. I'm like, can you guys? I'm like, fine, Mike, let's go. And Mike is amazing, right? So he drops his like it hot, and I'm like, all like this, right? People are like videoing us, and then all of a sudden I end up on a table, like not on a table. Sorry, I end up with a table.
Yeah, it's the drugs, people. It's the drugs.
I end up with a table ahead of me because they're funner. My kids are not wanting to dance. The table next to me, I think it's empty. And like the waiters, like they're young girl, like this waitress is like a young, maybe like in her 20s, and she's like full out dancing. There's a table of ladies with her full out dancing. I'm like, that's where I'm going. So I'm like dancing, and they're like, I'm in the middle, and I'm like, anyway, headache on board. Like I had a massive headache and I wasn't feeling well, but I'm like, I'm not missing this out.
That is
So
hilarious.
it was a blessing because that table, they're like the next day or a couple days later, they were like, we were looking for you. Like, where were you at the deck party? We wanted to dance with you. And I told them that I was sick. And one of the girls was like, girl, I got you. Come on over. I got some Motrin. Like, come and see me. My Kevin number is 2433. I was like, all right. I'm like, when are you going to be in your cabin? So she's like, in 10 minutes. So like 10 minutes later, I go. I kid you not, like, they were like horse pills, but they were amazing. I took two of them, and like I don't know, I don't know what I took. But that was the only time that my headache subsided. After that, I was like super sick.
Do you need to talk to your bishop now, Maria?
No, they were Motrin. From what I know,
Sure,
is Motrin.
Sure.
Listen, from what I know, it was Motrin.
Well, the medicine in the U.S. is different than Canada.
Maybe because she had like. This girl and their girls were like so great, honestly, because they're like, we just have to ask you, how do you have 4 kids and are so fetched? I was like, what?
Fetched. That's
I haven't even heard that term.
yeah, I've heard it before.
Yeah, I've
Fetched.
never even
I
heard
thought
it.
it died a long time ago. Fetched.
No, they were like, oh, and one feels good, and I was like, hey. Anyway, long story short, I was really sick. I came home, went to the doctor, had a massive sinus infection. I was like dripping. It was so gross. My nose was like so red from so much blowing of my nose, and I couldn't sleep at night. It was horrible. So 2 weeks I was sick, and hence now finally I finished my antibiotics on Friday. Yeah, Friday. No. Yeah, Friday. And Mike was on antibiotics as well, and then here I am.
Dang.
So that was pretty much like what it has been my last 3 weeks, really. I'm
Yeah.
like, my kids were sick the first week. I was really sick the second week. And I'm like, usually when I get sick, it's like this mom sickness that you can still function even though
Yeah.
you're sick. I couldn't function with this one. It was like I've never had a sinus
Yeah,
infection.
I was just here working. Call him.
I'm still fighting with a little like mucus, extra mucus in there.
Yeah, I know. It landed on my cheek.
That's disgusting. it came out and came back in. No, I'm just kidding. So disgusting, Miguel.
But you know what? It's funny because so today's topic is risk taking,
Yeah.
right? And as I was studying the topic, like just about, anyways, just as studying the topic, a lot of people don't take steps forward because fear of something that sometimes not, a lot of the times not really there.
Yeah.
And so, but with you, I can totally see the correlation. Like you were, you know what, I'm sick. You could have had the option of just either staying home and not
Yeah.
going,
Yeah.
right? Or going and then just leeching in your cabinet and just be like, I'm not going out, whatever, I'm sick. And you could have had every excuse to not participate. But and did you have a good time at the thing?
100%. I was like loaded. Granted, the only thing that perhaps I wouldn't do is take as much medication as I did because I was loaded on like, you're only supposed to take 2 Advils. I was like popping 3 Advils, and then like I'm like and I was on Tylenol, and then I found aspirin on there. They had aspirin for sale on the cruise, so $8 worth of aspirin I bought. I was like popping, and then I was like had Neocitrin too. I'm like, but legit, I mean, a risk taker, but I mean, don't do that.
Yeah, don't talk to your doctor about medicine.
Any medication, please talk to your doctor.
No, but again, it's just that whole thing about
Yeah.
just taking risk, going forward, and then you find things about yourself, right? So
It's a mindset.
So here's my question: did you learn? So this is definitely like a learning experience. Did you learn anything about yourself throughout this process?
Yeah. I learned that you have as much fun as you allow yourself to have. That there's these things that happen in your life that you have no control over. Like I had no control over getting sick or not. I had no
Yeah.
control over having sinus infection.
Yeah.
What I did have control over was my perception of things and my thought process. So, a lot of people, when I tell them that I was sick on the cruise, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It must have sucked so much. And I'm like, no, it was great. because I chose to focus on the fact that I didn't have to clean my cabin, like I didn't have to clean a house, and all meals were included. So, and my kids got a chance to go to camp. So my kids didn't even want to be with me; they were at camp. So it was amazing. I'm like, it was
What do you
the
mean
best.
camp at the cruise?
At the cruise, yeah. So they have on a cruise, they have camps for different ages, and like literally, they have great hours. You're there. They can be there until 10 p.m. They do all sorts of activities.
So you just go there, throw your kid in the whatever, and then just
100
walk away?
100%. I'm telling you, cruises are the best vacations to have with kids.
Okay, so I'm scared because we're looking at cruises right now
Yeah.
to take a cruise. But way too many movies, man. The boat going down. Jack,
Titanic, right?
Jack.
But
Yeah.
it's true. But if you look at the statistics, it's like 1%.
So it does happen.
1%. Like everything has a risk, right? But you're more likely to get into an accident than your cruise ship going down. So that's I'm like, everything is a risk management kind of thing. You have to assess what you're willing. Also, at the same time, you have to assess, like, if you're not willing to do something, are you limiting yourself? Is it based on a true risk? Or is it a self-limiting belief that because it happened in Titanic, now it's going to happen to you?
I use my kids as floating devices.
He's like, you wouldn't even care. Your kids would be like tossed. You know how it says women and children first?
Like, no, Latinos.
He'd be like, he's like taken and the kids would nowhere to be found.
Okay. All right.
It's so good. Honestly,
We've been on one. Taken one, she was working for Sensi.
yeah.
And so she won a cruise. We went to Barbados.
I think you guys should 100%. I think a cruise is the best to do it with kids because it's the most affordable. You can get great deals on a cruise.
I know. She was looking at them, and then anyways, we're thinking about going. But there's also talk about like the couples going.
Yes. I'm going. I hope you're going, but I'm going.
So we're part of a group chat, and then whatever says couple. You guys have met Jason and stuff anyway, so we're thinking about just going on
A Virgin cruise. They include everything. It's different.
What's a Virgin cruise?
The company that the company that does it, Virgin.
Oh,
You know, Virgin.
dude, my mind did not go there.
I know. That's why I was like, there's a company named Virgin.
It's like you have to be a virgin to go on this cruise. The heck? So we can't go.
We totally.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay. So there's a company called Virgin.
Yes.
And it's called the Virgin Cruise. Okay.
But it looks amazing. We started getting, when you do something and obviously algorithms start aligning to what you just done
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
whatnot. So we started getting ads for this, but we looked into it and they're freaking amazing. So much is included.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So anyway, I hope we're all able to make it.
Yeah, it's just a matter of finding like the right date, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who
So
would you
exciting.
leave your kids with?
Probably my mom. I would hope I would have to hopefully work out a schedule with her where she'd be able to stay with them because it is a 7-day cruise, I believe. It's like, I think there are 4 days, but I think with this one, I would want to do a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exciting. Anyway, back to risk taking.
Yeah, no. Well, again, it's funny because here I am afraid of boats and stuff like that because of movies. And I think, that's very interesting because my fear, it's not obviously from personal experience. I've never been on a boat where it's gone down.
You're
It's
here.
like, I'm here, right? So my fear comes from movie watching.
Yeah, it's true.
It's the same reason why I won't swim in lakes.
Why?
There's way too many animals.
And so what are you scared of? That they'll
Anything.
do something to you?
Eat me,
Okay.
pull me down,
And just like
die. Like what else is there to be afraid of?
So would you swim in the ocean?
No, ni madre, nothing.
Nothing.
No, I'll
So
go,
you only swim in pools.
yeah.
You've never swum in the lake.
Yeah, no. I've never swum. I've swam in
We've
a.
gone to Sable though. You've gone in.
No,
Sable.
I've gone I go to a beach.
But you've gone inside.
Yeah,
No?
up until my waist, and then I come back the minute the water starts creeping up. I'm like, forget that. I just come back to the shore. I've never gone like, if my feet can't touch the ground, I'm
Yeah,
done.
I get that. I'm afraid of currents. That's what I'm afraid of. My fear from currents, though, comes from like a young age where somebody, like a neighbor of ours, their husband, they went on vacation. Granted, this is in the ocean. he was pulled by a current and he passed away.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that is more of a fear for me. And
Yeah.
also I'm not a strong swimmer. So I'm kind of like,
But and see, even that, like, I mean, I know that sharks don't live in lakes. Like, I know that. I
you're
know
still,
that.
You're like, maybe a shark, man.
But
Crocodile.
maybe, hey, if animals evolve, maybe a shark found a way to live in a lake.
That's a well-founded fear.
And also like the seaweed. I
don't like that
They
feeling.
pull you down.
They don't pull you down.
They pull you down.
They don't pull you down.
And they pull you down. So
They get like tangled, but if you're freaking out, it's gonna feel like they're.
no, they pull you down. They pull you down. They're alive.
If somebody wants to give us a fact check about seaweed having the power to pull a human being down, please let us know.
But see, that's the thing is all these lake movies that I've watched.
Then you get well. See, here's the thing. It's funny how the stuff we consume, not necessarily through personal experience,
Right.
but the stuff that we consume creates these fears that really limit the things that we would do or the experiences that we would have.
Yeah. And I transfer that fear onto my kids.
So they don't swim in lakes.
I
either?
tell them that they're not allowed, but they still do it. But I'm freaking out every time they do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, don't. And it's just. Anyways, I just don't know what's down there, and it's so dark and black and whatever. Versus a pool, oh, it's like crystal clear. You know exactly what's on there. If I'm floating down there, and people can come grab me, they know exactly where my body is. Versus a lake,
For you.
if I go down, how are they gonna find me?
That is a
Exactly.
legit, like, I get it. Like, I get it. That would be, but for me, I don't think I allow myself to think of that. I think I just, like, I'm like, okay, that's there. And I just focus on something else.
Yeah,
Because I don't want it to limit. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to limit the kids. The kids they're in swimming lessons. They're stronger swimmers. And Mike is a really strong swimmer. So I'm kind of like, I have to trust that things will be okay. Which is hard. I get it.
Yeah. And you know what? And I do recognize. I obviously I'm not an idiot. I recognize that these fears limit me. But yeah, I am like legit afraid of.
Okay, so you have these fears, right, on that. But here's the other side of you. You have no fears. Well, I don't want to say you don't have no fears, but you can manage your fears a whole lot better when you put yourself out there in your job. Like you're able to
Yeah.
kind of like grow and push through that discomfort and to take risks, even if they're gonna like blow up in your face.
Yeah.
You still are able to manage those feelings and those expectations a whole lot better.
Yeah, and I mean this is personal doctrine, right? So this is not a whatever. So like fear holds us back from doing certain things. When I go and I speak, so I'm getting booked to go speak at a conference of over 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared, right? But I'll still do it because I know that the outcome's going to be great on the other side,
Yeah.
right? And then in the it's not life threatening, and I think so. The scared, I am scared, and things might blow up in my face, and it's not the end of the world. And if I botch it, then I botch it. I'm still alive, and it was a great learning experience. So, but if I go into a water and a turtle or a seaweed or a big huge jellyfish decides to eat me
In the lake,
in the lake, I'm dead.
because a jellyfish could like swallow you up, no problem.
Yeah, they wrap around you and they shock you, and then your heart stops, and now you're dead. So that is my.
That's a true fear.
It is a true fear. So I think so. So here's my thing, right? there are those things that stop us.
Yeah.
Like public speaking. For some people, it's like it's for
A hard
them.
no.
It's life threatening for them.
Yeah.
They see it now. I know there's no jellyfishes. I know there's no alligators. I know that there's no sharks. But in my mind, it is life threatening, and then therefore I will not do it. For public speaking, am I afraid? Of course, my palm starts to sweat, my stomach starts to rumble, and I will still do it because even though I'm scared, I know it's not life threatening, and I am going to learn something from it, whether I succeed or fail. For other people, public speaking, it is life threatening, and that's what it stops them.
It's the concept of like real physical pain versus emotional pain. Some people can tolerate a little bit more risk in like, I guess maybe in their physical environment.
Yeah.
Because there's people that are risk takers in that sense where they will go and like swim in like way deep in the water in a lake they will do these like extreme sports, but when it comes to anything that's like potentially emotionally painful, then
Yeah.
it's like a hard no.
So how do you get over it now? So here's
You have to have a desire. I think with anything, you have to have a desire to want to do it. Like for you, you don't have a desire to want to swim, so
No.
you're most likely not going to want to do it or change, because there's no desire, there's no reason why you want to change that,
yeah.
right? So
I
it's
don't
like
want to change.
exactly. So it's like, even though I can tell you, you know, nothing, like the likelihood of something happening is quite low. Like jellyfish are not really in lakes. There's
Listen,
no sharks in lakes.
What happened with that girl from remember the show, the singing show, Glee?
Someone died, right?
Yeah.
Did she drown in a pool? I thought it was a pool.
No, it was a lake.
Oh, she fell off the boat,
no,
wasn't it?
No. She went out on a boat with her child.
Oh, and then they couldn't find her.
And
Did
then-
they find a child?
They found the child. The child was back on the boat with a life jacket, and they couldn't find her. And so then they found her. Then they found her body
Oh my
like
gosh,
after
that is
whatever.
scary.
But again, like
There's a true fear. No, I get it, because I'm not 100% comfortable
And-
in
and-
like those
but-
situations.
and then the question is, what happened, right?
Yeah.
Did the squid get her?
I don't know about the squid
Then,
getting
but
her.
what happened?
She could have very easily fallen off the boat, banged her head, and then like wasn't able to swim back because she was unconscious.
No, I think what ended up happening. No, so I don't know how they figured it out. I think they got it. They
Autopsy, maybe.
no, they got out of the child that she pushed her son or her child back into the water, and then something not something pulled her down, but like
Somehow she like sank.
yeah, she went back down.
Oh man, I don't know.
Anyways,
But I'm like, see, that's the thing. I'm like, so going back to how do you get over it? I'm like, with anything, you have to have first a desire, right? Then after that desire, I'm like, there's 3 things that need to happen. You have to have knowledge of what it is that you need to do or want to do, and then you have to build a skill for it. So you got to start like working towards getting better at it. So for instance, for me, right, swimming is not my strong suit. So I'm nervous when the kids are swimming because it's not something like if they go down, I can't like quickly like go and like get them, right? I'm like struggling myself to stay afloat. Like I can't swim with myself and them. So that is a legit fear, and that's why I always rely on Mike. I'm always like, Mike is always in the pool with kids or like in the lake or whatever, because he also really enjoys that. But one of the things that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a swimming class. Is it uncomfortable? 100%. I don't want to do a swimming class, but my desire to just be able to be more equipped in case something happens is greater. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to become a better swimmer. So my desire is there because I have more of a desire just to be able to help my kids in the event something came down. Not saying that it will, right?
yeah.
What do I need to do? I need to take a swimming class. Even though I know how to swim, I know how to tread water, I know how to float, I'm not strong enough to feel comfortable with like going and grabbing anybody, right? So I'm like, okay, I got to build my skill. So I know that like the knowledge is going to be there when I take the class. Okay, how do I build my skill? I'm going to build my skill through the class and through practicing. So in order to be able to improve or be able to take more risks, it's not just nilly-willy, right? It's not something that you just do out of nowhere, because then at that point you can hurt yourself. But if you think about it and this is something that you want and you have first a desire to, then the other 2 are easier, because now you're like, okay, I have the desire. Let me find out what I can do and like how I can build this skill.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
No,
I know.
I'm not-
I totally blew your mind.
No.
See?
Yeah, and that's
I know,
that's
like,
fine.
it's okay.
I have no desire, no desire to be eaten by sharks.
No, but I get it, because so I'm in the same boat for you, like you. I have, yes, fear. I get anxious when I'm public speaking, but I also love it, right? And I know that even if I bombed it, even if I cried, even if I stuttered, like anything like that, I know that at the end of the day, I'm going to be happier that I had done it than to have avoided it.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm like, whatever risk it is that you want to take or whatever thing it is that you want to do, you first have to have the desire to want to do it.
Yeah. Which is similar to our progression booklet.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
that's number 2, right? Step
Yeah.
number 2 is desire.
Exactly.
Then number 3 is knowledge.
Well, and anything that requires change, right? Because risk taking is a change. Any kind of behavioral thing that requires change, you need desire. I think that's the foundation.
Yeah.
What does it matter? You could have all the knowledge of the world. You could know how to build a skill, but if you have no desire to change it, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. No, maybe one day. I'll anyways.
But I'm like, it's fine. Yeah, it's not like you have a lake in your backyard. If you had a lake in your backyard, then that would be different. Because maybe at that point you'd be like, oh shoot, like in case something happened, I better feel more comfortable with this lake behind my backyard.
Every year, Tegan takes the kids to her brother's cottage, and they have to jump on a boat to get to the cottage, and then they always there's a deck that goes way into the water, and then they run off the deck, and then they jump in the water. And then she's always sending me pictures, and I'm like, I freak out, right? And it's and then they they get pulled on the boat, and they get thrown off the boat.
Are you gonna do that one day? Is that why you don't go? Because you're just like, no, man, I gotta get in the boat. Second, I'm like, there's.
I've never gone.
Okay, so tell me something. Is it because of the fear that you've never gone? Or is it because like you legit had stuff to do, or like why haven't you gone?
I'll always find something to do.
So it's the fear.
100%. Well, yeah. So 60% of it is the fear.
So have you ever thought about baby stepping it? Because it is a great time that you could have with the kids, and necessarily not you going in the water. Because I'm sure the kids would love it if you were there.
Oh, they would love it. They bug me all the time. Are you coming this year? I'm like, maybe no.
So and that's the thing. I'm like, if your desire is greater to want to spend that time with your kids,
but I don't need that one day to go on the water and risk my life. I can spend time going to African lion safari and putting my head inside the lion's mouth. But
what if the kids are asking you? What if it's important to them?
It's not important.
Are you willing to step out of your discomfort?
It's not that important to them. It's not a make or break dad of the year award if I don't go with them.
But you might be missing out on beautiful memories, right? That's the thing.
No, we got other memories. We go to the beach. We go camping. I'll show them how to build a fire.
So you're okay missing out on that?
I'm very okay missing out on that. I'm very okay missing out on that. Yeah.
I'm like, so at that point, I'm like, there's like that's never gonna change unless you want it, right?
Yeah, zero desires.
So yeah. So I mean, now you know that if you want to start taking more risks, if you want to start improving, there has to be a level of desire.
So again, is risk taking based on level of desire?
I think it's depending on what you're trying to do. I think sometimes there's just people that are that can have a higher tolerance for risk. I think. Yeah. And so I think at that point, maybe they're just so used to, I'm not that person. So that's why I'm like, those people to me are like unicorns, because I'm like, it amazes me. Like legit, I'm like, there's people that sometimes they have discomfort of being rejected, but yet I guess they do have a desire, or like their ability to do risks and to endure is far greater than their other side of the coin, which is the rejection, that discomfort. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I admire those people. I want to be like those people. So in my mind, in order for me to be able to be like those people, that maybe all of us have different talents, different abilities. So I'm like, some of us have to work harder to have that level of risk taking.
What are you guys afraid of? Let us know.
I'm afraid of rats. That was one thing that I would never.
The rats are cute.
That's disgusting, right? The rats or mice? I have no desire to improve that fear.
Mice are cute. There's white mice.
That's disgusting. With the red eyes.
Yeah, they're so
disgusting.
Cute. They're so cute.
That's disgusting. See, that's my thing that I would never, that I have no desire on improving.
What if your daughter or your son come, Mom, I just want to.
They know. No. Anything that's a rodent and has a naked tail is a hard no.
A naked.
It's a hard no. Chinchillas, maybe. They're part of the rodent family, but they are cute with their big eyes and their fluffy tails. My daughter Raquel wants to be a vet. So like we've had this conversation several times, and I'm like 100% no. Anything rodent based, and they're like, why? They're so cute. Look at them.
They're so cute.
They're disgusting.
But my fear is based on death.
My fear is based on how disgusting they are.
They're not going to kill you.
Okay, this is where my fear is based, okay? In Ecuador, Okay, there was a neighbor of ours who was hardcore in the city. We lived in the city. We didn't live in like a farm or anything like that. But he decided to convert his backyard to like a pig stand, whatever it's called,
Pigsty.
a pigsty, right? So they had a ton of pigs, and you know, pigs are messy eaters, like, or at least the way that he fed them, right? So there was a massive amount of rats and like mice in our house outside.
So if a mouse just crawled up and
I'd be right here. I would be like,
you should have seen her.
I would be right here. Okay. There is, if all of a sudden, like, you know how you put the bird on my shoulder?
Yeah.
Legit, you put a rat on my on there, I leave. I'm never coming back. I would like probably punch you. It would be a reflex, and it wouldn't be on your body. It might have been on your face. It just a reflex, right? Right? I would like take the rat and toss it. That's what you can. It's dangerous for the rat. Like if you love that rat, you better not put it on me. Because I'm going to either step on it, I'm going to throw it, I'm going to kick it,
That is so
and
funny.
I'm going to run out, and I'm not coming back. We will be doing these sessions
Virtually.
via virtual. That's 100% how we will be doing it.
Okay.
So I'm like,
So
let me
don't-
look around.
She's looking around.
He did tell me that his place was really messy in here. So I'm like,
Yeah, like I mean, the 3 weeks, because she hasn't been here for 3 weeks in the office. Like I did let this place go. I was like, there was like candy wrapper, Dorito chips everywhere.
Dorito dust, everything. You were
Oh,
like, it was yellow from the Dorito dust.
Oh yeah, it was a hot mess in my office. And so when she messages me, she's like, "Hey, we're still doing this." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Crap, I gotta clean this office."
At 7:50, it took him an hour to clean it.
I went to the gym this morning.
Oh, that's so good.
I've been going with Josh Davis.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
So he's one of the guys that are coming over for games night.
Okay.
So you know the Shermans.
Yes.
He was the previous bishop.
Yes, I know him.
So his son-in-law.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So they live in town now, and so anyway, so we invited them over for like our couples thing, but he's been wanting to get back into shape. He wants to get into being an officer, and
Okay,
so I'm
cool.
like, let's hit the gym, right? So we've been going to the gym every morning at 4:30.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, and so I was there and came home. I was like all this energy. I'm like, okay, this place needs to get cleaned up, and so that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. So I think that's it for our risk taking session.
did I learn something today?
Probably not.
Did you learn something today?
Hold on, add that if there's rats here, I'm out of here. That we will be going virtual.
Yeah. No, and you know what? And so I am fully aware, and I do recognize that some of the fears that I have impeded me from enjoying certain things that this world has to offer.
Yeah.
And I get it. But I think you hit the nail right on the head when you're like, if the desire is great, then you will, oh, what happened here?
I know. I'm like, I saw something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you
It
go.
was just glitching. That if the desire is there, then you'll find ways to get over that fear, right?
Yeah. Like if it continually is on your mind, then
Yeah.
that means that there's a desire there. So if you have something in your mind and it just keeps creeping back up, I'm
Yeah.
like, that's how you know.
Yeah. With me, I have no desire, so then that's why it's like,
It's like me and mice. I have no desire to get over that fear.
yeah.
I did learn something, I guess. I'm like, as we were talking, I'm like, I do have a greater desire for like my business career or us working together and the way we work together. And I do realize that sometimes my fear and my like, I can take risks in different areas of my life, but it doesn't mean that I do it in all areas of my life.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are areas that I'm very like averse. Is that anyway, big word.
I know.
but I'm very
Don't do it.
there's aversion. Okay, there's an aversion when you're like totally turned off by that. So I have an aversion to certain risks when it really makes me uncomfortable and when it makes me feel like I'm gonna experience rejection. There is those things, and I can think of them. And as I was talking about risk and like talking about like get overcoming, I realized that even though I have a desire for it, my greatest focus is on the can'ts or like what's going to happen after, when in reality, I should switch the focus to my desire.
So as you were talking, something just came up because, anyways, the description on the post is like we should be risk takers.
Yeah.
Like we should be taking risks to get better, to learn things, because when we take risks, we learn things about ourselves, and we progress differently, right? Kind of thing. Now, here's the thing is, right? If let's say our our family decides to buy a cottage, right? And I mean, it's obviously going to be by the lake. At that point, it's going to become one of these things like I should do it, because now I own a cottage by the lake, and I would be missing out. So then the desire starts to kick in. Right now, I have no desire. We don't own a cottage. I don't go to the lake. We don't go to the lake. We go to the beach. That's good enough. But if at any point in time that like our situation changes, then the only way for me to, and I do recognize the only way for me to progress is to get over that thing. So I'm gonna have to start changing and start taking.
Just figuring out what you need to do in order to build that skill.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, one of the things that I always thought about is that confidence was just something innate that came to a person. And then what I realized is that confidence is built on skill, right? So right now there is the fear of it, which means a lack of confidence. But yet as you continue to build that skill, the fear starts decreasing, the confidence starts increasing.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just a way of life. I think we're always going to have these opportunities to change and to grow.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes whether we want to or not, that's what really makes a difference.
There you go. That's our show, ladies and gentlemen. So, what's that?
You gotta dance.
What was that? Did you? Oh, there's no way to rewind this. What in the world?
Neck dancing, man. That's the thing.
Is that what you were doing at the?
I learned that dance at the cruise. Just kidding.
This is sad.
All right, everybody. We love you. Make sure you follow us in all our channels.
Absolutely. So we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure that you're following us. And then if you are watching this content, please do us a huge, massive favor. Like, share, and subscribe, and then push all our stuff forward. Maybe something in here that was said today may have helped you, and who knows, it will help somebody else who you are connected to.
Yeah, I just realized we're matchy. We're both wearing black.
Oh yeah, we are. Yeah, look what I can do this.
What? I can't see.
Oh, you can't see it?
Just kidding.
Whatever, dude.
I kind of saw a little bit of. All right. We love you guys. Have a great week.
Take care. Bye.
Got a minute, don't know. Got a minute of your time. Got a minute of your. Let it.